She started as a teenage country singer with a guitar and a dream. Today, Taylor Swift is worth around $2 billion, making her the richest female musician in history. From the record-breaking Eras Tour to buying back her entire music catalog, every major decision has added another chapter to one of the greatest financial success stories in entertainment. But where did all that money come from? In this video, we're breaking down Taylor Swift's fortune. From touring, royalties, and real estate to the business moves that transformed her from a global superstar into a billion-dollar empire. The number that changed everything is the Eras Tour. The official tally for the 21-month run, confirmed by her own team to the New York Times, came to $2,077,618,725 from a sold-out total attendance of 10,168,008. That is not a trade magazine estimate. It is roughly double the previous touring record, not close to it. Double. The build was staggering. The tour opened in Glendale, Arizona in March 2023, and by that August, its first North American leg alone had grossed $780 million from 56 shows, already the highest-grossing tour by a woman in history. By December 2023, Pollstar estimated it had crossed $1 billion from just 60 shows that year, making it the first tour ever to reach that mark, with a full year still to come. Through 2024, she carried it across Asia, Australia, and Europe, including 8 nights at Wembley, and by the time it closed in Vancouver that December, she had played to more than 10 million fans across 5 continents over 149 shows. What makes the figure more remarkable is how she got it. She used no dynamic pricing. The average ticket ran about $204, well below what the top 100 global tours charged that year, while scalpers on the resale market averaged $1,652 a seat and pushed close to $3,000 for the final Vancouver weekend. Money she chose not to chase. Before the tour, her net worth stood at $740 million. After the first 57 shows, it had jumped past $1 billion, making her the first person to reach billionaire status with music as the core source of the wealth. She also reportedly paid out over $197 million in bonuses to everyone who worked the tour, from truck drivers and riggers to caterers and dancers, checks large enough to change their year. A self-financed concert film added to it, opening at $123.5 million worldwide, becoming the highest-grossing domestic concert film ever, with more than $250 million in its run, before streaming rights sold to Disney for a reported $75 million. The fight to own her music, the quieter transformation, happened on paper. For most of her career, Taylor Swift did not own the master recordings of her own songs. Like most young artists, she signed those rights away in her early deal with Big Machine label group, standard industry practice, where the label keeps the masters while the artist retains songwriting credits. Then in 2019, those masters were sold, by her account without her knowledge, to Scooter Braun's Ithaca Holdings, setting off one of the loudest music industry fights of the decade. Her response was almost unprecedented. She began re-recording her old albums note for note and releasing them as Taylor's version, building a competing product to undercut the originals she did not own. It worked. Fearless, Red, Speak Now, and 1989 all returned as Taylor's version, each one topping the charts and chipping away at the commercial value of the originals. In late 2020, Braun sold those masters again, this time to the private equity firm Shamrock Capital for a reported $300 million, a deal she said again closed without her involvement. Kelly Clarkson had been one of the first to suggest she simply re-record everything, and her father reportedly pushed the same idea, advice that became a multi-year campaign. It ended on May 30th, 2025, when she announced she had bought her masters back. Billboard sources put the price around $360 million, close to what Shamrock had paid, though her re-recordings had blunted the catalog's commercial edge and shaped that number. The purchase covered every master, every music video, every concert film, the album art, and unreleased vault songs. Financially, the deal reshaped her whole balance sheet. Once she owned the masters outright, every stream, sync license, and placement in a film or commercial went straight to her rather than passing through a label or private equity firm first. That is the structural point insiders keep making. Her catalog now compounds without a middleman, and with nearly 2 decades of chart-topping albums, it is one of the steadiest, highest-margin income sources anyone in music has. The tour made her a billionaire. Owning the masters is why the number kept climbing, even in stretches when she was not performing, and by her own account, the tour money is what let her finally make the purchase. The music machine. Running alongside all of it was a release schedule that would exhaust most artists. In February 2024, mid-tour, she won her 4th Album of the Year Grammy for Midnights and used the speech to announce her next record on the spot. That album, The Tortured Poets Department, debuted with 2.61 million equivalent units in the US and claimed all top 14 spots on the Hot 100, something no artist had done. It followed Midnights, which in 2022 made her the first artist to occupy the entire Billboard Top 10 with one release. In October 2025, The Life of a Showgirl generated an estimated 14.7 million album equivalent units, more than double any other artist that year, with 2.7 million copies sold on release day alone. Then came a lane nobody predicted: movie soundtracks. In 2026, she contributed a song to Toy Story 5 titled I Knew It, I Knew You, an offer she reportedly declined at first because the master rights for a Disney soundtrack would belong to Disney, not her, a sticking point after everything she had just reclaimed. What all of this adds up to is income that no longer depends on touring at all. Estimates put her 2026 monthly income, with no active tour, at roughly $10 to $15 million from catalog royalties, streaming, soundtracks, brand deals, and investments. The real estate portfolio. Music is the core, but not the whole picture. Her property portfolio has been building since she was barely out of her teens. At 20, she bought a $1.9 million penthouse on Nashville's Music Row in 2009, a corner duplex in a building called the Adelicia. In 2011, she added a $2.5 million Greek Revival estate in Nashville's Forest Hills, known as Northumberland, built in 1934 for a former U.S. ambassador, which she bought for her parents. In 2013 came the property that defines the portfolio, a $17.75 million Watch Hill estate in Rhode Island, paid in cash, an 11,000 square foot mansion on over 5 acres with 700 feet of private beach. Its former owner, socialite Rebecca Harkness, inspired her song The Last Great American Dynasty, and the house hosts her famous 4th of July parties. In 2014, she moved into Manhattan, combining 2 Tribeca penthouses bought from director Peter Jackson for $19.95 million, later adding a 3rd unit. In 2015, she paid $25 million for a historic Beverly Hills mansion, once owned by producer Samuel Goldwyn, restored it, and had it landmarked in 2017 so it can never be demolished. Estimates of her real estate holdings range from about $80 to $150 million, with Forbes landing near $110 to $125 million. The marriage? In 2026, those homes mattered for a new reason. On July 3rd, she married Travis Kelce, the Kansas City Chiefs tight end, in a ceremony at Madison Square Garden. The two had met in 2023 at an Eras Tour show at Arrowhead Stadium, where Kelce famously tried and failed to hand her his phone number, almost exactly 3 years before the wedding. Kelce's own net worth is estimated around $90 million. Real money, but a fraction of hers, a gap wide enough that outlets treated a prenuptial agreement as almost certain. Forbes estimated the wedding would cost at least $20 million for a guest list near 1,000, a figure that barely registers against her fortune. Ahead of the wedding, the couple also donated a reported $26 million to U.S. charities focused on food security, children's health, and education. Where the number lands, estimates of her final figure differ by outlet, mostly over how each values her catalog, an asset with no fixed price until someone tries to buy it. Bloomberg pegged her near $2.1 billion in late 2025, while Forbes moved from $1.6 billion toward $2 billion through June 2026 and into the $2.1 billion range after. She did not inherit this or build it on a beauty or fashion line the way several peers have. It came from songwriting, touring, and the choice to fight for ownership. She now sits second only to Jay-Z among the wealthiest musicians and is comfortably the wealthiest woman in music history, ahead of every other female artist by billions rather than millions. If you enjoyed this breakdown of Taylor Swift's empire, drop a like and subscribe for more deep dives into how the world's biggest stars built their fortunes. And tell us in the comments, whose money should we break down next? Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.